It is the 23rd of July, Rabbi Levitt, Horeb.
Okay, Sivesa Batamos, Tafshin Pei Dalad. All right. One of the days of the year that we remember what the Hebrew date is.
True.
And so we're up to 276 in Tefillin. Right. Okay. So, Lou, would you like to start off for us today?
Among the mitzvahs, there is none which, if rightly fulfilled, sanctifies you anew every single day and raises you and hallows and equips you with divinely given strength to live the true life in the service of God as a Jew, as do the tefillin. The mind which you dedicate to God through the tefillin cannot become the abode of lies, deceit, cunning, and malice. The heart which you sanctify to God through the tefillin cannot shrivel into self-seeking or become debased with pleasure-seeking. It must open up to an all-embracing love and dedicate itself in purity to the temple of the all-holy. And finally, the hand which you have sanctified through the tefillin as an instrument for serving Hashem in your actions. Can you stretch it out in treachery to the hapless and peace of a brother? To the happiness and peace of a brother? Happy are you if you never put on tefillin without proper meditation, nor wear them without due thought. Happy are you if you sanctify your mind, your heart, and your hand to your God in heaven with sincerity, and if you prepare yourself to live the Jewish life in the true Jewish spirit. Happy are you if you realize this, your task, and plan to live in its fulfillment alone. Thus, the tefillin equip you for the battle of life and beckon you to victory. Happy would we be if we could wear them all day, if we dared wear them all day. This would evoke in us physical cleanliness, purity of thought, and a continuous appraisal of the tefillin. Otherwise, wearing them would be a lie and desecration. In order to avoid this, because we cannot trust ourselves to fulfill all the lessons of the tefillin, we wear the tefillin only during divine service in the morning, and everyone must wear them during the Shmona Esrei and the Kriyat Shema. And throughout this time, must keep his body clean, his thoughts pure, and his attention undisturbed, remembering that the binding of the tefillin upon his bare skin has the force of inscribing the name of God upon his person. Anyone who cannot keep his body clean or his attention undisturbed because of illness, or who, even during the short time that he is wearing the tefillin, cannot achieve purity of thought, should not put on the tefillin. Similarly, too, he who, because of suffering or trouble, cannot with reason acquire a calm spirit, which would render his devotions unbroken. For mourners, see paragraph 314. The tefillin must not be handled disrespectfully, nor may anything disrespectful be done in their vicinity unless they are enclosed in a double container. At the performance of one's bodily functions, the tefillin must be kept at a distance. Also, when asleep, you must not wear the tefillin.
Okay. So that's remembering that the binding of the tefillin upon his bare skin has the force of inscribing the name of Hashem upon his person. Very nice, very amazing. Okay. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, round of applause for tefillin. Now we move to tzitzis. 39. Okay, we go to Roy to start off. Tzitzis.
And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them throughout their generations fringes on the corners of their garments, and they put with the fringe of each corner a thread of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them. And that you go not about your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go astray, that you may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. That was some Numbers, and this is another one. This is from Deuteronomy. Thou shalt make thee twisted cords upon the four corners of thy covering, wherewith thou coverest thyself.
Mm. Okay. All right, very good. Yeah, these are the psukim at the end of Parshas Shlach, after the Torah has related the episode of the Meraglim. That was the Klal Yisrael's Bechiyah Shel Chinam on Tisha B'Av. The Gemara says when the Meraglim came back and told them their report about Eretz Yisrael, a Bechiyah Shel Chinam. And so we put in the, so the Torah puts the mitzvah of tzitzis. Don't go after your heart and after your eyes. Okay. Let's proceed to 277. Mayor, please.
Okay. Says, we have already seen above in chapter 4 that if we allow ourselves to be guided only by what we understand through our mental facilities or by the material things we see with the eye, we shall easily be led to a denial of God by the former and to a debasement of our pleasures by the latter. Both will lead us to idol worship. In the physical world that we see around us, God does not appear to us as a visible being, nor are our senses today witness to the factual revelation that took place in the past. Furthermore, in the material world in which we live, the desire of our animal passions find favorable means which aid and abet them, and not the principles which should regulate them and circumscribe them and sanctify them to the glory of man. And so it is that without Torah, you regard any inner urge calling you to something higher as foolish and fanciful, and you place yourself on a level with the animal and the plant, wooing the plant and straining after the animal, with the result that you soon deify yourself and those people or things that ladle out to you the pleasures which you court and which enable you to acquire what you have been straining after. But God does not wish you to follow the course prompted by your heart or your eye. And so he has given you a means whereby in the present visible world, you will always have the visible reminder of God himself, invisible, a present reminder of his law given in the past. It will remind you also that the animal within you strives only to find gratification in things visible and material, that therefore your relationship with him, who is invisible, your election by him, who is invisible, and the word of the invisible revealed in the past have imposed upon you a higher obligation. In short, a means which directs your attention from the visible to the invisible and brings the past palpably before you in the present. This means is tzitzit. Indeed, it is called tzitzit from its root meaning to appear in visible form.
Wow. Amazing.
I always thought that the word tzitzis means strings or so, or some form of string or something.
Nope. Oh, so you want to know where we find this word? We find this word in the verb form in the nusach of Kiddush Levana. Let's take a look at Kiddush Levana. If we have we don't have in this. We need a siddur. I don't have a siddur here. Oh, yes, I do. I have a siddur. The Elias Elio siddur.
Oh, well, here.
Generally, you can find Kiddush Levana in most siddurim after Tfilas Mariv of the weekday. You have Tfilas Mariv, then you have this siddur has Sfiras Omer after that. It has Kriya Shema Lamita. And it should have Tikkun Hatzos. And it should have Kiddush Levana.
Oh, it has something.
Doesn't have it there.
After it has it after Shabbos, maybe after Shabbos, Motzei Shabbos. It's part of Motzei.
Okay.
I think it is. I'll put it here.
Yeah, right. You're right. Okay, so over here, let's see. Okay, so we say the bracha. Baruch Hashem echadish chadoshim. And then we say Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom, Siman Tov u'Mazel Tov, Kol Dodi, Inez Ba. We hear.
Mitzitz nin hacharakim. It's near the
Where?
Yeah.
in Cold OD. It's
In Cold Order.
Kol
Yeah.
Dodi, Inez Ba. The voice of Dodi. Behold, he's coming. Medalig Eloharim. Skipping over the mountains. Mekabetz ala gvaos. And the heights. Doma Doda Litzvi. He's like my beloved, the Dodi. He's like a Svi, a deer.
Yeah.
Ola Oifer, Ha'ayolim. Different type of kosher animal. Hine ze omed acha kaslenu. Hine ze omed acha kaslenu. Behold, it is standing behind the wall. Mashkiach michalonot. Supervising from the chalonot, from the window. Metzitz mina harakim. Peering out. Looking out from between the cracks. So there's the word. Here it's a verb, but the tzitzis is the noun.
To an appearance.
He says the root meaning is to appear. I'm seeing here that it's okay. I always thought it meant to see. He's saying it to appear. Ah, that's a big. Okay. But this is quite a striking picture he's painted over here. Hashem Hashem is invisible, and his he's invisible, and the law that he gave is did he say that was invisible also, or something of the past? All the things that strike a person and raise his interest are things that he sees, things that are in front of him, the senses, and that's what the pasuk says. Lo sasu acharei levavchem. Don't go after the things that you can see. Don't get after your heart and your eyes, because those things lead you astray. You have to remember to do all of my commandments. And so that's what the tzitzis are doing. The tzitzis are reminding us that there's a world beyond the physical world. There's an invisible world. and that Hashem is invisible. Hashem does not want you to follow the course prompted by your heart or your eye. So tzitzis is a means whereby in the present visible world that we live in, that's the world that Hashem put us in. We always have a visible reminder of Hashem, who himself is invisible, and a present reminder of the law that was given in the past by Maimed Har Sinai. And it reminds you that the animal within a person only strives to find gratification in things that are visible and material. But your relationship with Hashem is not that, because Hashem is invisible, and your election by Him, who is invisible. I guess He elected us. I think that's what it means.
Mm-hmm. It shows us.
Yeah. And the word of the invisible, revealed in the past, have imposed upon you a higher obligation, a means which directs your attention from the visible to the invisible, brings the past palpably back before you in the present. And this means is tzitzis. Wow. That's really something. Okay, 278. And we go to, whose turn is it on 278 now? Back to Lou.
Mm-hmm.
278. On the Shabbos day, on which the tefillin and with them their sacred lessons do not obtain, in the open, where there cannot be the mezuzah and all that it evokes, in the wide, unrestricted vista of the world, perceptible only to the eye and the heart, one of Israel's sons allowed himself to be dragged down and derided the Sabbath and the sanctities it connotes, which live in the thought and in the spirit. Then did God command that tzitzit be entwined in the corners of your four-cornered garments, fringes instituted by him for the physical eye to behold as a reminder of his commandments. Thus, when the sensitive eye and the sensitive heart of man wander out into the visible world and are then thrown back upon themselves, they find the human garment, the first visible characteristic distinguishing man from beast, reminding man of his superiority over brutishness and making him aware of the existence of the invisible one and his word, and recalling vividly Hashem, human dignity, and the mission of Israel. The tzitzis will help you to raise yourself above the world envisaged by the senses, and to dedicate your natural senses to the service of him who is beyond conception and invisible, who set you into the visible world as a reminder of himself through the fulfillment of his word. You must remain holy unto Hashem, who led you out of Egypt, in order that he be your God, and he, the unique one, alone abides as your God. The tzitzis remind us of Hashem and his law. They are knotted to our garment as a warning in our quest of the world and its bearing upon us, that ye go not about after your own heart and your own eyes. Did not the first garment come to man as a result of the first sin, in which, following his sensuality, he called what God had forbidden to him good for food, a delight to the eyes, to be desired, to make one wise? Tov le machol ta'o le'einayim nechmad lehaskil. And so the garment proclaims a warning to us for all time. Lo sasuru acharei levavechem ba'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem. Do not follow after your heart and after your eyes that you lust after them.
Very good. Right. Now, actually, I mentioned the episode of the spies that sits as follows, but Rav Hirsch is reminding us that that's not the parsha which is right next to tzitzis, that precedes tzitzis. The parsha that precedes it, if you take a look in Bamidbar, he doesn't. This is the episode of the what do you call this person? Yeah, this
Inscription.
the pasuk says that he was what was he doing? Ish makoshesh eitzim b'yom haShabbos.
Slapsachad.
Yeah, so right, the pasuk doesn't say who it was, but right, I think one of the midrashim identifies them as Lou said. And so he was brought to Moshe and Aaron, and Hashem told Moshe he's chayiv misa, and so he was duly executed. And that is the parsha that is right before the parsha of tzitzis. So this is what Rav Hirsch is referring to over here. On the Sabbath day, when we don't have tefillin, because the day of Shabbos is our os. And for some reason, that's the os of tefillin, it becomes unnecessary, and therefore there's no mitzvah of tefillin on Shabbos. So, like we said before in the previous section, all the lessons of tefillin and the kedusha that we achieve when we're wearing tefillin. So it's not there on Shabbos. And so in that scenario, in that situation, a person could be allow himself to be dragged down and desecrate the Shabbos and all the sanctities that the Shabbos represents. And Rav Hirsch says that's when Hashem commanded the mitzvah of tzitzis. And he has on the bottom, only after man had sinned by giving into his sensual desires did the feeling of shame and his wickedness arise, and he was given a garment. Oh, that's going back to the Adam Arishon. The human garment is thus not only the mark distinguishing man from beast, but a reminder for man both of his inclination to sin and his moral power to overcome this inclination, says Rav Hirsch in a different essay. So what's the idea Rav Hirsch is bringing out over here? So just to read the words, then did Hashem command tzitzis be put on the corners of the four-cornered garment, instituted by him for the physical eye to behold, to look at the tzitzis as a reminder of the mitzvahs, like the parsha says. It says. It gives the reason for tzitzis. And we're supposed to say this before we put on the tzitzis. Hareini bo l'kayim es mitzvahs saseh, lisatit b'tzitzis, laman tizkru es kol mitzvosai. We put on tzitzis, and the Torah says, in order that we should remember to do all of the mitzvahs. Remember all of Hashem's mitzvahs, and especially this mitzvah of which is a mitzvah unto itself, a separate mitzvah. To lo sasu acharei levavchem v'acharei nechem. Therefore, when the sensitive eye and the sensitive hearts of man wander into the visible world and are thrown back upon themselves, they find the human garments, the first visible characteristic distinguishing man from beasts, reminding him of his superiority over his brutishness, and making him aware of the existence of the invisible one and his word and the mission of Israel. So tzitzis will raise us above the world of the senses and help us to have the strength and the vision to dedicate our natural senses to Hashem's service. Okay. Very good. Wonderful. And with that, we still have 4 minutes. Okay, so let's go to 279. Who's reading 279? Mayor, please.
Back up. Okay. It says, the essence of the injunction about tzitzit is, in accordance with God's command, to make fringes on all four sides of a four-corner garment in the corners thereof. On garments, because the essential purpose of the garment is the covering up of the animal element in man's body, leaving only those limbs bare which are primarily organs of human activity, namely the face, the hand, and the hands. Tzitzit are thus the affirmation of man's God-given mission, so that man's superiority over the beast does not appear to him just a man-made institution created of his own free will or by some sinful deviation from nature. Rather, did God himself give the first man the first garment and taught him to conceal the animal part of himself as protection against his brutalization. The tzitzit must be on all four sides, reminiscent of the directions of the world and your own directions in the world, so that when you glance to the east or the west, the south or the north, you have in mind God's law. Fringes, these are of no use as a covering for the purpose of clothing oneself. You will therefore ask yourself, what are the threads for? And so you are spontaneously led to God's law. And by this reflection, God and his law are brought to your mind, and through the affirmation of the revelation of his law, you affirm the existence of God himself. The tzitzit, therefore, should be placed in the corners as not an integral part of the garment, and thus serving as a reminder of God and his law, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them.
Mm. Now this is, I believe, a Rashi. He's mentioned this, Reb Hirsch, a couple times, that the tzitzis remind us of Hashem's law. Where do we see this? How do we see this from the tzitzis? So there's a Rashi over here. Let's see here. I think it's a Rashi. I'm gonna have to see that it's a Rashi, because otherwise I'm gonna have to remember what the Chazal say, and then I don't know if I remember that. Okay, in any case, we are out of time, so we are saved by the bell.
Hooray for the bell.
Hooray for the bell! Okay, all right. So we'll adjourn for now, and we wish Mayor a wonderful day and excellent Tainus.
Yes, have a
Yes,
meeting.
Hashem.
Yes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay. Be well, everybody.
Have a good day, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Lou.
Bye
Take
for
care,
now.
Roy.
I am.
Okay.
We'll be back. Yes, Hashem.